Now, US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have concluded their first meeting in 6 years in Busan. Their initial comments made by Presidents Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have said that recent frictions are normal for the two biggest economies. However, the biggest economies in the world have left the site of the summit and have said that no announcement has been made yet. Of course, this is a huge development. Both Donald Trump and Xi Jinping have left the site, with Donald Trump leaving for Washington in Air Force One and President Xi Jinping leaving Busan in South Korea in his motorcade, neither of which spoke to reporters after much positive language prior to that meeting. US state media reported that the meeting should have lasted around 3 hours. The meeting only lasted 1 hour and 40 minutes. And now, of course, we wait and, of course, for news on that meeting. And now to discuss this is Stephen Nagy. He is a professor at the International Christian University, and he joins us live from Tokyo. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. It's a pleasure to have you. Of course, this meeting was hugely anticipated. We've been waiting for this since January, since Trump took office. And there was hugely positive words going into this. I mean, from both presidents, from both sides. And Donald Trump, no stranger to the reporter's camera, he walked past those cameras and took to those steps of Air Force One without saying a word to any of the press. What does that signal?
So, Thomas, thank you very much for having me. And I think it's important for us to understand that the political dynamics and environment of these two countries couldn't be more different. Mr. Trump can be a showman. He can, say things in a way that his counterpart, President Xi Jinping, could never say. So there's not the flexibility. The meeting was shorter, 1 hour and 40 minutes. They complimented each other. They talked about the challenges within the relationship. But the fact that I think President Trump went directly into Air Force One, he didn't comment to the media. He didn't do what he normally does, whether that's boasting or talking about a great deal or talking about how they're going to have a great deal. Didn't do that. Suggests that he may not have got the takeaways that he was expecting. And this should be no surprise. President Xi's economy is in very bad shape. He has increasingly domestic challenges back home, and there's really no incentive on the Chinese side to bargain with the United States at this particular stage.
Yes, and of course there were 3 main sticking points when it came to this. Of course, centering around trade, we have rare earths, which of course the Chinese have put restrictions on. We have tariff threats from Donald Trump, and we have a possible TikTok deal, which was set to be transferred over to American hands, which would of course allow that hugely popular social media app to still be present in the United States. Where do you think the main point of contention was here? Where do you think the main tensions arose in this meeting? Now, earlier in this week, we did see both Chinese and US officials agree to that framework deal. Where did issues arise?
You know, I don't think it was TikTok whatsoever. I think really it was revolved around tariffs and rare earth materials. From the US side, rare earth materials and not only getting the rare earth materials themselves, but the processing and getting them to the United States is incredibly important for defense technologies. airplanes, iPads, all kinds of technology. But again, in particular for the defense industry that uses these rare earth materials en masse. And it appears that the Chinese really haven't loosened up their monopolization of both the processing and the mining. And this creates a challenge in terms of the United States and how it moves forward in terms of bilateral relations. On the Chinese side, tariffs are hurting. There's already downward structural pressures on the Chinese economy. We think youth employment is above 20%. We think that the property market has really gone bust. And we think there's general economic malaise in China at the aggregate level. Of course, there's stars in the economy, as there'd be stars anywhere. So the Chinese want tariff relief, and they want it now. The Americans want rare earth access, and neither side's willing to budge until there is a concrete agreement to reduce tariffs and to have access to rare earth materials. And I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yes, thank you very much, Stephen. Do stay with us as we have further updates from, of course, our top story of the hour. We have Taiwanese Foreign Minister Ling